Chapter 18. We are the heaven of the world. A message from Jesus identifying himself as the living Christ who lives in you. Section 1. World and being, world and self. We now will unite your being with the world and gather what was dispersed. You are ready, and you will not lose yourself in the immensities of the world. Now you know who you are and who is speaking. Now we walk the path of life hand in hand, and you know for sure that you and I are the same being. We are the union of truth and love. We are one with all creation. The children of God respectfully let each other freely travel their chosen path in union with God. We know that each one's ways, whatever they may be, are the ones that God in His infinite wisdom has traced, together with the soul of each in perfect harmony. There is no need to challenge the wisdom of God in anything, or seek to understand beyond what is necessary. We no longer waste time to get lost in old ramblings of the ego mind. Now we only live in the truth that we are, the truth of our being. We live in love. In other words, we are now God's love in us, as God created us to be. And we judge nothing. We simply be. I said that there is nothing new under the sun, and yet I have also said, I make all things new because I am the eternal originality of love. How do we unite both truths? We do so by not falling into a confusion of levels. Under the sun, everything is the same because in time everything happens in the same way. Everything happens at a repetition rate that tires the soul. However, this is what is. Nothing in the ego world is actually creative. To live in a world without creativity is to live in a world without true originality. The soul needs novelty, which it knows from divine memories. The ego world created a number of entertainments which sought to fill this need. Herein lies much of the bitterness in the hearts of men and women throughout time. Herein also lies the reason that many live in the hustle and bustle, looking for challenges. These challenges only provoke emotional novelty. The search for new emotions is a search to replace the experience of the true self. Yet emotions are repetitive, because only one emotion is felt: fear. There is no other emotion. There is only love or fear. Love is God. Fear is an emotion. Thus, all emotion can only be fear manifested in the body. I speak of the boredom of repetition, a world without novelty, a boredom generated as day after day passes, without true novelty. The fateful routine of the world is painful to even the least adventurous soul, because every soul carries within itself the desire always to know more, which in turn arises from the fact that your true being is infinite, literally. Although every soul has the impulse to know, the search for truth in the world of form is futile. True knowledge cannot be found in a world of form, which is limited by definition. It can never satisfy your hunger and thirst to know eternity. A true being is of pure love, since it is of God. Thus, knowing oneself eternally is an essential part of the life of the soul. Knowing more, love, is what the heart seeks and always will seek. You cannot love enough. You cannot love too much, nor can you receive too much love. Once one reaches a threshold of knowledge, it will advance to another threshold, and so on. So it is with love. The heart will always seek more love. Loving and knowing are one and the same. What else could you seek to know when only love exists? What else can you know when God is all there is? Section 2. World and Knowledge. My beloveds, the world cannot give true knowledge because that is not its source, not its effect. The world is simply an instrument. The world is a transient place where you learn to live as who you really are. The world gives you a loving opportunity, although not the only one, to awaken to the truth of love. At first you wake up slowly. Then you begin to walk awake, and you meet those who have also awakened, and finally are ready to receive with serenity and peace those who are waking up. Yet you do so without noise, so as not to disturb before their time those who still sleep, the sleep of oblivion, the atoms who still lie in the state of unconsciousness, even though they think they are awake. We contemplate our sleeping brothers and sisters with the sweetness of love, and treat them always with tenderness, understanding that their acts are nothing other than the movements of those terrified by nightmares. We do not judge. We do not try to wake them up. We simply accept what it is, as it is. Having accepted that our lives are what they should be, we begin to raise our eyes, understanding that God does not skimp on resources for His children to do whatever they need to do. This is an act of responsible love. Beloved child, it is not the old world to which I call you. I call you from the realm of no time to eternal life, to a life that is not of this world, a life in which the sun never sets, a kingdom where harmony reigns, unchanging yet growing into more and more love, a new world. I have created this world for you. It awaits you with longing. You begin to live in this world on earth, but with your eyes on heaven, on a kingdom where you are always the lover and the beloved, the creator and the created. A world in which we all enjoy together the creative act of God. We are all part of that eternal creation. In the kingdom we are conscious of being, in our totality, the essence of united love. Once we reside in the heaven of Christ's mind, we embrace the world and all worlds, starting now. Now we are like the sun, rays extending toward everything. Now we radiate the love of our being, letting Christ illuminate everything. We let the rays of Christ's love embrace the world. Thus are we the Sacred Heart. the heaven of the world, here and now. There is no reason not to give love to the world. This is central to being able to integrate reality into the totality. There is no such thing as inside and outside. We must begin to forget arbitrary distinctions that are strictly contrary to the truth. Although we have used terms of the language of separation, such as saying outside or inside, up and down, the truth is that the time has come when we can begin to live into a new language, a language that does not speak of separation, an inclusive language of the totality of truth. There is no such thing as anything external to you. There is no such thing as anything internal to you. The truth is that only you exist. Your being, the true being that you are, the living Christ who lives in you, is the only reality. All else is fiction. All else is illusion. You cannot give what you do not have. The reason you used to fear the world was that you feared what you had done with what you thought you were. When you started to fear the world, you began to despair because you believed that this world was the only possible world. And since you could not tolerate the panorama of you contemplated, you struggled to escape and failed. Then nothing was left but to fight or die. The impulse to struggle and defend is the impulse that moves the egoic world, because the ego is only concerned with its survival. But now you have another reason to live. That new reason is the extension of your being. Remember that the despair evoked in us by the world came from a feeling that in its complex immensity you could not find yourself or understand creation. If you do not understand it, you cannot love it. It is that simple. You cannot love what you cannot understand. Do not forget what caused the panic of the world. Fear that seemed never to go away. Believe that all fear comes from not knowing who you really are. Nothing can be more terrifying than not knowing who you are, which happens when you identify with the body and the ego personality. Thus, even if the world was exactly as you would like it to be, you still would live in terror because still you do not know who you really are. To not know who you are is to be not consciously united to your being. That disconnection of being generates fear. In effect, then, fear is nothing more than unconsciousness. Also believe that unconsciousness, which is what gives rise to the emotion of fear, is the only thing that must change for the world to change.